that. It's just a fun thing to be able to do and share with you all, especially if we get into the holiday season. Kitty's got a really thick coat of fur, and so it's starting to clump up a little bit, and I need to get him looking good again for the holidays. Here's Kitty. And so as I'm grooming him, I've got a couple of brushes that I'm going to be experimenting with. This is not like, a promotion or anything. I just don't know which one is going to work best for him. We're going to talk through some of the things that we're also doing for the channel and just talk through some of the videos we have coming up. There are some ideas I'm really excited about, so I want to make sure to share those with you all. And what I've been doing is, since we filmed a lot of them in advance, I've been able to edit them and get them out early for members. So check the link in the description below if you want to become a member and have early access to some of these videos. Usually get them 2 or 3 days before they actually go live for everybody else. So you get a sneak peek and an early look at what the channel is doing. So this seems to be working okay. He seems pretty chill right now, but he gets a little restless after a while, just like a kid getting a haircut. So he's got some matted fur over on the other side, and after I finish over here, we're gonna get that. So I know I shared with you all the picture of my wife's mural. Well, it's not her mural, but the one that she had been working on, and some of the reveal ceremony and some of the meaning behind that. So that was pretty cool for her to be able to get back into doing art. Kitty, come back here. And so I was excited to be able to create that video for her and be able to showcase some of the work that she's doing, some of the behind the scenes, if you saw the short that I uploaded last night. And just really cool that she's able to get back into doing art, especially on such a public scale, especially after her feeling like she's been out of the game for a little bit, being a mom and homeschooling and all of that stuff. So that was a really cool opportunity for her to do some work with, I don't know if calling him like a real artist, but like someone who's paid to do art for a living. That's pretty cool. And she's actually at a workshop with him right now with the kids. So that's what they're up to today. And so that was one video that was slightly different from what we normally do, but in the vein of what got this channel pretty big in the first place, we do have a true crime update, and this is one that I'm actually really excited about. I know we've kind of got the Jody Hildebrandt and Rudy Franke saga in our rear view, but recently, one of Jody Hildebrandt's ex-clients, if you want to call it an ex-victim, reached out to me because they had saw that I had reacted to a video that they had made. Now, this was Bryce Della Ripa, who was in Utah and had done some counseling with Jody Hildebrandt, and he created a video talking about his experiences. This was during the height of the trial, I think, or at least in all the investigations. And that video got pretty big. I ended up reacting to it, and a couple of months later, I guess, he happened to come across that reaction, and he reached out to me and wanted to come on the channel and share his story. I think I had messaged him previously wanting to get an exclusive interview. Well, now we have that exclusive interview, and that video is what's going to be coming out on Friday, and I'm almost done editing it, so I'll actually be able to release it early for members. So you all who are a member of any tier, I know we have 2 tiers, but any tier of membership gets you early access to these videos. So I'm really excited to be able to share that with you all. He's got some stuff that he didn't share initially in that video, and just some of his thoughts on the role of the Mormon church in that. Kitty, don't bite. And so there's a lot there that I think, okay. Yeah, really got to focus on this fur now. Yeah, but so there's a lot there that he shared that either he didn't go into as much detail, in his initial video, but that was really a privilege, and he himself is thinking of going into become a counselor, and he's looking to start school for that. He hit a couple of roadblocks. I think it was either financially or in some other aspect, and so he is going to have a chance to be able to start. Oh, it wasn't financial. It was because I think there was an issue, just like family stuff, that the timing wasn't great for him to go back to school right away. So he is in progress for that now. Oh, this is much better, Kitty. Thanks. And so that was really cool to be able to talk to him. And it really is from you, all the viewers, who watch these videos and get them big enough so that somebody is willing to reach out to me, because nobody's doing that just on their own. So I really do appreciate you all who watch and subscribe. This really active community that we have that allows me to be able to create these videos for you, and I never take that lightly. Always do appreciate that you all are spending your time watching these videos, watching these lives, commenting, having lively discussions in the comment sections, and that is what makes this channel so awesome for me and such a cool experience for me. Yeah, Kitty's nibbling at me now because hey, I gotta get this out. So yeah, Kitty's got some really matted fur right now. I'm working on it. We do need to groom him more regularly, but it's just hard to find time sometimes, especially when he doesn't always cooperate. Hey, come back. Well, now he's digging into it. Gonna have to vacuum this before the wife comes home. So that is one video that is coming down the line for you all. That should be by the end of this week, and for members it'll actually be sooner than that. Now, another video that we have coming up, this is an idea that I've had that has just been a little bit delayed, but I am going to be talking to some local pastors about Christian nationalism and the role that it plays in today's culture, as well as in the election. And while this may not be super mental health specifically related, I think there's a lot of cognitive dissonance where, so basically the idea of cognitive dissonance is that you say something, but you act differently. And so I think there's a lot of dissonance when it comes to the political race and culture right now for evangelical Christians, people who claim themselves, who claim that mantle and label, and some of the actions that are coming out from some of the most prominent, or at least the loudest, people who call themselves evangelicals. And so there's something to that, and having to sort through that. Kitty's not happy with the grooming right now. So I want to talk with them through some of that. Really topical discussion, really important right now, especially I'm in an area in the South where a lot of people are nominally Christians, and what does that actually mean for people who just kind of claim that culturally, people who would consider themselves maybe devout believers, all of that stuff. There's a lot to sort through socially, culturally, and individually. And then when you throw in issues of race and gender and all of those things, there's a lot to unpack there. So I'm hoping to do that with these local pastors, and it's just coming down to when we can schedule something. Another video that I want to do, and this has just been a little slow, is that there's a local podcaster here who talks about abuse and domestic abuse, I think, is her primary topic, and how she escaped from that herself. And so I want to be able to share some of her story, and also what she would say to people who maybe are thinking they might be in a similar situation but aren't quite sure, or how to extricate themselves from that situation. So I'm hoping that she has a lot of resources, both locally and nationally, and ways to be able to identify if you're in a dangerous or problematic situation and how to safely protect yourself in that. So I'm very excited for that. I think that was definitely kind of a, I don't know, blind spot learning opportunity for me when it came to the story of Diane. And a lot of people came in hot in the comments about the idea of estrangement and abuse and maybe emotional abuse, gaslighting, those kinds of things, that they felt I was not very well informed on those, which I can understand why people would say that. Kitty, come back here. Ugh. So I didn't want to just leave it at that with people feeling unsatisfied. So I wanted to be able to get into more of those topics. I think that her specific focus is going to be a little different because the domestic abuse situation might be a little different from the parent-child dynamic. I think shedding some light on that and how she dealt with that for herself is going to be really important. I'm getting quite a mountain of fur here. I think Kitty has enough fur for 2 cats. So I'm going to show that to you all soon. Looks a lot less pretty when it's not on the cat. So we've got the Jody Hildebrandt update. It's not quite an update, but the interview with Jody Hildebrandt's ex-client. Got the Christian nationalism video coming up, domestic violence and how to extricate yourself from that. What else am I working on? Got a lot of different video ideas. I do have one that'll be coming out in 2 weeks now, I think, where I'm gonna be talking with a stylist about body image, especially some of the current issues around body image for young people and just in general, especially, so this is a male stylist and he's going to be talking about body image for men, things like that. So that's a really interesting angle that I want to go at, the idea of self-image, self-worth, and how we view ourselves, body dysmorphia, all of those things. Come back here, kitty. Oh, you're almost done. Side note, there was one night where we came back from being out somewhere and then another cat was on our porch and ran off. So Kitty's had a friend coming over. Oh. Yeah, well, I need to untangle this for you. Stop biting. Holly in hell asked the stylist why they charging so much. Oh. Yeah, that was actually something that comes up when we're talking about one of the things that I asked him was, what is something that you should not do with your stylist? And he said that a lot of people seem to take their time for granted. And so some of that comes down to compensation and payment. He's relatively young, so he's run into a lot of people who ask him like, hey, do you know what you're doing? And maybe not thinking that he's worth the money that he's charging. So that's something that he will get into. So I did ask him basically that, and he'll talk about that a little bit. So tune in 2 weeks and you'll get your questions answered about maybe why you feel like they might be overcharging. And I guess you'll just be able to judge based on what he says, whether it's worth your money or not. Okay, I think Kitty's lost patience. So let me show you, oh my goodness. The fur that's all over me, first of all. Man. By the way, we got the Christmas decorations up behind me, so hopefully you all can see some of that. But yeah, I will show you this mountain of fur. Ooh. Have to break out the vacuum too. Oh, I got out most of the knots. I think there's some stubborn ones that he wasn't having it. for me combing them out, brushing them out. So here, let me show you all real quick. This is what we're working with. These are the leftovers. Nice fluffy ball that could cover an entirely new cat, and he's still got a lot on his body. So I don't know if anyone needs a wig or something, let me know. I can ship this out to you. It should be pretty cheap shipping. It's all pretty light, but I don't know if you want this all on your head. Yeah, there's another whole cat here. So I am gonna pack this up. I'm gonna have to vacuum it or something. I'll take the big clumps and put it in this bag here. There we go. And yeah, Kitty's done. He's not interested anymore. Honestly, he sat for a lot longer than I expected him to. So that is, got most of it, I guess. So he'll be at least decent. And, you know, like I said, he's got his kitty friend coming to visit, apparently, so he's got to look nice. And then try to vacuum the rest of this up. This probably would have been better on the bare floor instead of on a rug. But, I mean, then you wouldn't have been able to see the Christmas tree behind me. Yeah, I'm just trying to brush this out of the rug right now. It'll make the vacuuming a little bit easier. Hey, this one actually works pretty well for getting the fur out of the rug. So that's good to know for the future, because he does like sitting under the Christmas tree, and sometimes a lot of fur just builds up around there. So now I know this one's the one for if I want to get stuff out of the rug. So one thing I want to offer to members also, and this is something I've offered previously, if you all have any questions about mental health, about the channel, or about my work, or the way that we do things as therapists, please let me know somewhere in the comments, either of this video or other posts. The tree is not real. This is actually a fake tree, but it's a Balsam Hill one of the, I guess, nice, more realistic trees. So we've had it for a couple of years. The built-in lights have actually started to not work. So we've been having to replace those this year. And that's been a little more labor intensive, but it is nice. Like, it looks fairly real and we like it, and we like the built-in lights. So it's always been easy to assemble until this year when the lights didn't work so well. But so what I was saying about, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments or comment on my Instagram or something. Especially for members, I'll try to make a short answering that, and we've been able to do that for some of our members here recently. But I'm open to do that for anybody. Just want to give priority to people who are members of the channel to get that kind of direct response from me. And now I'm going to be brushing my clothes off a little bit. Ugh. This is the maintenance guy. He's watching me clean up now. All of the fur that he's worked so hard to grow. So I do hope that all of you all's holiday seasons are going well. I know that this can be a stressful time. One of the projects that I was actually working on yeah, I think Kitty would be kicked out of the house if he knocked the tree over at this point, but it's got a pretty solid base. So he doesn't go super wild for it. He just likes sitting underneath it. I think it's the lights or I don't know. It reminds them of being outside. So one of the projects that I was working on was actually with the artist that my wife was working on with the mural. Um, but we were going to do a wintering well project, and I talked about this in a video last winter, where this university in Glasgow, I think, created a curriculum basically to help people through seasonal affective disorder. So the idea is that, you know, when it's the winter months, it's cold, you're not going out as much. There might be some letdown from after the holidays, or you might just have a difficult time with your own family and personal history when it comes to getting through the holidays. And so this university created a curriculum where people would gather once a week, once every couple of weeks, to come together, do some creative activities together, be outside together. And the idea was creating this community that you were creative and open with, and this would combat some of the more difficult aspects of the winter that can lead to seasonal affective disorder. And so we were going to do that ourselves. We actually had a really cool project lined up. It was going to be making masks throughout a 4-session process. And this group would be able to come together, develop trust in one another, create together. And so like the project was actually going to be pretty cool. I was going to document that, and then we were going to have a series of videos with that. I think we got the advertising out way too late. So we ended up canceling it for this year, and they were super busy anyway. Like the facility was going to be really busy at the college and everything. And so I think we've got the infrastructure in place to be able to do this well next year. And so I think we're just going to take what we've planned already and carry that over into the following year. So that was something that we were going to try to do, and we had everything pulled together. We had approval from his organization, his side of things, and I had my ideas going forward, and it just didn't work out. So it's fine. You know, it's a little disappointing, but this winter has been really busy too, so I don't mind that there was one less thing for me to have to do. So we've got the infrastructure in place to make this happen next year. Um, you know, I think it's a great idea, and I think more communities need to start implementing it. So hopefully, you know, we've got a good pilot run for next year. And if we do that well, then maybe we can get some local community mental health agencies on board, get some funding, or get some other groups going that can pull this off and really have it be a community-wide effort for people to not feel as alone or not feel as maybe dull or blah during the winter months. So that's something that I hope is beneficial long term and can turn into something long term. So I think I've mostly cleaned up the rug. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm so excited about some of the videos that we have coming down the line. If you're watching, please do like and subscribe. That helps our channel to grow. And do watch some of the videos. I know, you know, we're spanning a lot of different topics, so that doesn't appeal to everybody equally. And we're in the holiday months too, so people just seem to be on YouTube a little less because they're spending time with their families. I love that. I appreciate it. And, you know, I'm just following what interests I have with this and related to mental health. So I'm hoping that some of those appeal to you all as well. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all next time.